What's up, guys? I'm Jake the Lawn Kid. Welcome back to another weekday in the lawn. So a lot of you guys might wonder, hey Jake, why are you home today? Shouldn't you be at school? And the reason I'm home today is because I'm actually getting ready to go out of town here in the next hour or so to attend the GIE Expo. Anyway, let's get to what we need to get to. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about lawn winterization. What, dude? Already? It's as shocking to me as it is to you guys. In fact, I already know that a couple of you guys who live further north have already gotten your first snowstorm. Also, I'm actually starting to see a lot of frost taking place here on my lawn, and because of that, I wanted to go ahead and make this video now. That way, those of you guys who live in an area like I do or a little bit further south, you guys will have a little bit of time to plan ahead. One thing you'll notice if you look behind me here is that my lawn looks like it was freshly cut yesterday. And my friends, that can't be any further from the truth. You see, the last time I did anything to this lawn was on Sunday. And as you'll notice, it looks like it hasn't grown very much, which by the way is very unusual because usually within a day or two after mowing, the lawn has already grown a couple inches. So that's just an indicator that the cooler temperatures are coming in, and because of that, the growth is starting to slow down. Some of you guys might wonder, well, Jake, if the growth is slowing down, why is the lawn still green? Well, you guys have to understand, just because the growth on top is slowing down doesn't mean that processes in the plant are ready to shut down yet. Photosynthesis, it's still going on. Any nutrients that the lawn is getting from our fertilizers or Mother Nature itself, the only difference now is that instead of being put into the top growth, they're actually going to be taken down into the root system where they can be stored over winter, and once proper temperatures resume in the spring, they can be utilized. And this actually brings us back to our good old friend nitrogen. For a majority of the year, what we've been doing is we've been regulating our nitrogen rates, and along with that, we've been putting down micros like iron, copper, zinc, sulfur, and what those did is they helped any macros that we input throughout the year perform better, and they also provided a little bit of a color pop in the lawn, as you'll see, specifically the iron. Now we need to give the lawn what it needs to go to bed with a full tummy so it can wake up next year feeling refreshed. Another reason we like to put down nitrogen right now is because we're actually being a little bit more conservative as homeowners. One of the problems with nitrogen when you apply it throughout the year is that it's volatile. And what I mean by that is that it can be easily evaporated out of the ground at normal temperatures. And for us, those are temperatures in the 70s and 80s and 90s all throughout the year. But now that the temperatures are cooler, believe it or not, that's actually less likely to happen. So when we put that nitrogen down, we're going to be getting full efficacy next spring, knowing that none of it evaporated out over time. Now let's talk about a couple good products that you can use for this. These are just a couple of options to think about, right? So you can either go for a product like this one here, all-purpose fertilizer, and as you guys who've seen me talk about starter fertilizer, you don't need starter fertilizer. You only need something that contains all three elements, NPK, and you should be all right. In this case, we don't need all three elements. We just want the nitrogen right now. If you have the other two elements, great, but we don't need them, right? We spent all year implementing these. The nitrogen is what's going to give us that green next spring that we're looking for. However, I do recommend that if you see this product anywhere, that you go ahead and get it, because for one, it's readily available and it's cheap. $7 a bag for a 40-pound bag. Not a bad bet. If you guys don't want anything that has the other two elements, I'll leave links in the description below to alternatives as well as application rates that you can use. As far as this product goes here, 10-10-10. The idea being here is that we want to stay under a third pound of nitrogen, okay? We want to be as conservative as possible with this. So we're going to put this down at 3 pounds per thousand, 10% nitrogen. That'll give us a third pound of nitrogen. Another product you can use here is actually from my friend at Greene County Fertilizer, and this is their new product that they launched just this year, 1801 Green Punch. Now, there's a couple things I like about this product. For one, it's basically like Milorganite and starter fertilizer in one pack. And the reason I say that is because a majority of the nitrogen that's in here is urea nitrogen, urea meaning fast release, and then the other 4% is actually slow release. So the idea being is that it has a high amount of nitrogen, which is going to give you a color pop right away, as well as a little bit of ammonia to go ahead and give you a little bit of residual color for about 6 weeks. So that's really cool. As far as application rates go for this one, we're going going to put it down at 18 ounces per thousand. That'll give you just under a third pound of nitrogen. The idea here being is that we're not trying to go over the top, right? We can be a little conservative with this application. The maximum you can do is about a half pound of nitrogen. In this case, I would even try and go a little bit less, maybe even down to a quarter pound, because like I said, the idea being is we only need just a little boost to help the lawn wake up strong next spring. So let's try and be a little conservative with this application, okay? One more thing to take note of, and that is make sure the product you're using is overall a synthetic product. We don't want an organic fertilizer for this. You guys know I love Milorganite, but the only problem with Milorganite is that it requires friction and heat in order to get activated in the soil. And because we're going to be getting cooler here, we're not going to have a lot of that happening. So any of the nutrients that would typically come from Milorganite, they're not going to be utilized. They're just going to be sitting there. That is a waste of product and a waste of money, and it's not environmentally friendly. Synthetic fertilizers, on the other hand, all you have to do is water them in, and then from there, they're already in the soil and working after that. So just remember, guys, make sure the product you're using is synthetic and you should be okay. This area right here is really going to be dominating. I went over it 3 times. Keep in mind that was with the water diluted. You don't want to do this while with the raw product undiluted, because that will cause some issues and it will actually burn areas of your lawn. So if you did get a little heavy-handed, that's why we go ahead and we dilute it with water, so then that way we don't have to worry about any areas burning, because the whole idea, right, is that you might be new at this. You're not exactly going to be familiar with this. Like, I feel the same way, man. The first time I used this hose end sprayer, I was in so much doubt. I was scared because I was worried I was going to burn something. But then I realized, hey, man, you know, it's only a matter of time until you become really good. Just got to practice and practice and practice, and then eventually you'll be the professional. It's like swinging a golf club or riding a bike. The more you do it, the better you get.